Hey. I don't know if I like doing a live in this room. It don't feel right. It don't feel right. And I can't keep messing with this stuff. Let's try it like this. Good afternoon. Good evening. Greetings, peace, salutations. Hey. Come on in the room while we wait for Webby to come through. Come through with the come through. Peace. How are you? Hey, Tam. There we go. And I don't know if it'll let me request you to go live. You have to request me, sir. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Hopefully it'll let him in. Let's see. Let us see. There we go.
Yeah, bless
I
up.
was like, we not gonna get in. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
What's going on?
amazing.
Dope, dope, dope. Yeah. I'm loving the patterns behind you. That's what's up. I'm
This is my
trying to
new
rock.
collection.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Look,
rock mine today. Yeah, I see
yeah,
it. I gotta come see
yeah.
you.
I know. I know.
Hold on. Let me let
Um,
me let me get this camera adjusted. I don't think it's a
okay.
little deaf. My
Just
bad. We
get
live, so
together,
shit happens.
get it together.
Word. All right.
Okay. So tell the people who you are, because I've been waiting for this day. I've been trying to link this together for a little bit. You've already been working with me and my people out in on the West Coast. So I
Hmm.
would love I'm loving the fact that I get to expose the rest of my tribe to you. So tell us, who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Ishangi. I kind of wear several hats, but the ones that are most prominent, I deal with. I'm a financial therapist. I'm also a STEAM instructor. I teach, STEAM, but from an African perspective.
Mhm.
And I also am a culture curator. I consider myself one of the many vanguards of our story that needs to be, passed down to each generation so that the next generation gets it. So I basically take information from our historian giants and
Nice.
add my flavor to it, and then make it palatable for the next generation so they can continue to move it forward,
Understand.
passing the baton. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I
But
love
thanks.
that. So
Yeah,
what does financial therapist mean? Break that down to us. What is that? How does that
yeah.
help us?
Well, the thing about financial therapy to me is, and I think now everyone's inundated with, financial literacy. That term
Mhm.
is becomes so cliche that it turns people off. Like, I don't want to,
Exactly.
it's bad enough we don't want to talk about how broke we are, right?
Right.
But then you got someone that says, "Oh, I got a solution for you." Like everyone feels like I know the way. Follow me. Blah, blah, I'm an influencer,
Right.
right?
I'm the guru.
Yeah,
I'm the
right.
guru. I'm the new guru on
Exactly.
the block.
Everybody's a guru, and they just taking clips from somebody else's social media and
Yep.
not tested. But for me, it needed to go a further step because it's one thing to talk about raising credit scores, trying to send in letters to eliminate, debt that you may have off your
Mhm.
report, stuff like that. Um, the real issue is our behavior with how we deal with money. And
Mhm.
that's something that I think we all suffer from is that we've never been properly introduced
Right.
to what money is.
Right.
We've just been thrown in as from our earliest years. You need to make money. Why? Because money allows you to get things.
Right.
That's primarily it.
Right.
Um, Opposed to you need money to be able to sustain yourself first, and
Mhm.
then yeah, there's the saving component, but not the saving is on you. Like okay, you need to put your money away to save, but you also want to live and have certain things. Not how can you make your money work for you instead of you working for it. We've never been
Mhm.
given that concept. And so because of that, we spend a lot of our adult years trying to do the right thing, and the right thing was what we were told, didn't know that there were other things you could do that are even better than this way.
Right.
So we get caught up into the rat race psychosis. And when we do get a little bit of paper, we want to reward ourselves because one,
We ain't
we've been
had.
working hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had it. Now I got it. There's that thing I want to get. There's that bag or that car or that vacation I want to take. I'm going to do
Mhm.
that because I need to live a little bit. That's the problem where I think, and there's nothing wrong with that part. It's just that, again, we haven't been introduced to what money is, the concept of how you could use it, because it's energy transfer, it's
Exactly.
currency. And so therapy to me is the part of therapy is to reintroduce ourselves, no, introduce for the first time the
Mm-hmm.
concept of what money is, and then also using that methodology to understand that money is a means to an end. So how do you get it to grow for yourselves, especially in a limited economy? And there are limited opportunities. We have AI coming with job eliminations. We have the economy, which is never positive. It's always in influx. It's always
It's
a
always
recession around the corner.
something going
It's
on.
always, yeah, it's always something. Yet prices are still going up. Cost of living is going up. Everything is going up, but bringing in is going down. So how do you? There's the stress behind that. That's the other part of therapy, is because this creates stress levels that eats away at our health, eats
Right.
away at our relationships.
Right.
So that's where the therapy to me part is that let's
Mm.
talk about the behavioral components to money and the residual effects of having poor behavior habits, and then how can you change that up so that you can then have a better trajectory of where you're going in life.
So, what do you feel like is the common things that you see people running into? Like, what tends to be, you know, the narrative or the things that people have the biggest blocks with?
The number one thing is disclosure. People, we want to look the part. No one wants to, it's as simple as when someone asks you, hey, what's up? How you doing? We always say, I'm
I'm
good. We never
good.
really get into the reality of what's going on, right? Because if you do, you might open up a can of worms, and that
Right.
person's like, "Damn, I didn't want to hear all that. Like, I was just
Right.
trying to check on you, right?" So, and
You just
and
dumped
we
on
don't,
me.
yeah, right. So we don't have the outlets to actually speak about. We don't have the outlets to let these things out and speak about those very real issues. Finances is a bigger part of that because no one wants to really speak about how broke they are.
Mm.
It's embarrassing. And then the person that's listening is like, is he gonna try to hit me up?
Right.
He needs some money, or whatever. So it's
Right.
that tension that's there that people don't want to cross that line. So what do? They keep it within themselves, and they're
Right.
dealing with this problem. And so again, stress is it just gets triggered. It festers like it's yeast. It just grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
Mm.
and then explodes. And to me, I like to break things down to acronyms and everything. And stress to me means someone trying to repair every situation solo. And
Ooh.
that's how we've been taught, is that we deal with stress in the level where I got to deal with it. It's my problem. It's adulting. It's part of life.
Right.
And we don't
Yeah.
seek the help.
Yeah.
And the help could be just as simple as, not about you loaning me some money. It's about, let's talk about having some wealth conversations,
Yeah.
some wealth building conversations.
And
So I think that's the biggest part.
I
Yeah.
can see where that can hand like I think we even, talked about it briefly, but I remember like when the wealth transfer was happening with me, the first thing I did was, okay, I need to get a money team in place because I
Mm-hmm.
knew, okay, I have a very limited knowledge when it comes to resources and what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing I did was call the uncle that had made the most money in my family. Who
Word.
else was a millionaire?
Advice. Right.
Oh, okay, let me call him and see, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
because, and then when I thought about it after the fact, I was like, it's a disservice when you do have those family members who make it and they don't pass down the
100%.
information. Like they don't,
Yeah.
pay it forward to us, the generations coming behind him, to make sure that we are set up for success before I got into the situation where now I'm calling you like, look, I got this money
Yep.
and where I'm supposed to go, what I'm
Right.
supposed to do. It's
Right.
making me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then it's that issue of like where some people where you say, well, the first thing they do is they want to go buy stuff.
Yeah.
I was the opposite in the beginning. I ain't want to buy
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I
You
was
don't
like,
want to
I'm
lose it.
not buying nothing. I'm
Right.
not spending $1. I
It's a
don't want to
slippery
reward
slope.
myself.
Yeah,
It might go away. Let's put it in this.
that's right. It's a
Put it in
slippery
this
slope.
box.
Yep. Once you start, you're just like, let me get this next, and then next thing you know, you're depleted a
Yeah,
certain amount.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the issues of, that, as you mentioned, like that's why the psychosis is so important. The therapy
right,
is so important because
right,
this Western world has conditioned us to be so individualistic. You got to get yours because I'm getting mine. And I'm not going to even show you how I did it.
Right.
I just got, you know what I mean? You can sit there and look in envy. And the thing to me is, especially, it's really counterproductive because why would you want to make it and then you want your, obviously share it with your friends and family,
Right.
but they're not there with you. So you got to pay for them to come with you to enjoy it if they
Right.
can even stay as long.
Right.
So you're upset because they don't have no money or they don't have
Right.
what you
And
have
you
when
always
all you
got to
got to do
pay
is
for
share.
everything.
Yeah, but all you got to do is share the information, put them on a
Right.
plan. And so that's one of the reasons why I decided, in learning about finances, yes, it's a business, but more importantly, because I want to see people that I'm hanging around, I want
Mm-hmm.
us all to be in that position. I want us to all have 700 plus credit scores. If you
Right.
have personal credit lines up to six figures, and business credit lines, we are having trust to protect those things.
Right.
Like I want us to be in those spaces so that we can do things, and I got to worry about, well, does he have enough to pay for his trip? Or he
Right.
can't come because he got to work, or she can't. You know what I mean? I don't want to be
Right.
in that position. So it's a little bit of a crabs in the barrel mentality that we still have because we don't
Yeah.
have trust in each other.
That's true.
We don't want to share.
That's true.
We're also I don't know, and that creates envy. But more
Yeah.
importantly, it damages the bloodline. It
Yeah.
continues us in this impoverished mindset
Mm.
that's inherited to the next line. Because what are we going to tell our kids? You need to get a job. You
Yeah.
need to save your money and get a job. You need to be more responsible.
Work hard.
Never, yeah,
Now work
exactly.
smart, but work
Yeah,
hard.
right. Not you need to get your own business. No, you need to
Right.
get a job. You got to get somebody to
Right.
hire you. Like that's the mentality that's been handed down. And I think we're in a stage right now with the information age that if we want to have a different outcome, we got to get rid of those old things, those old
Oh, wait.
methodologies. So what that means is we need to go back and let's analyze what we've been doing, and then
Yeah.
we can reverse engineer it to go into a different direction.
So, what are some solutions? Give us, like, if you could give us your top three things, or however many you want to share with us today.
Mm-hmm.
But like the top things that we should be doing as a community on
Okay.
both ends of the spectrum, because I do feel like, there's that conversation for the ones that are striving to get there, but there's also that conversation, like I just said, that is for the ones that are there and then you still are dependent on, like I said, my money team
Mm-hmm.
to do everything for me. Well, and if God forbid something happened and I can't afford my money team and I'm stuck.
Right.
So,
Right.
what are the top things? What are some top things or top tips that we can, implement
I
moving
would
forward?
start first with self and then we'll branch out into community.
Hmm.
First, I would say what it really comes down to is time management. And I know
Hmm.
people are like, oh, time management, what does that mean? Well, just to understand that, you could still be working your job. It's what you do when you're not at your job, your off time, which
Hmm.
is anywhere between, 12 to 16 hours, factoring in sleep. It'll take some of that hours
Right.
too. So let's just say you got about 6 hours a day. 6 hours a
Hmm.
day, 5 days a week, that's 30 hours a week, right?
Hmm.
30 hours a week. Now, the rich have a saying that if you're not spending 5 hours a week learning, then you're being irresponsible. So my thought is, if you're not spending 5 hours a week learning about finances, I'll be even more specific and direct. If you were to spend 5 hours a week learning about finances, and if that's 7 days a week, that's 42.8 minutes a day.
Hmm.
So you could take out of that 5 hours or 6 hours, just take 1 hour roughly to learn about finances. Information is out there, right? So you
Yes.
could do your DIYs, you could do your YouTube universities, you could enroll in my course, Crypto Woke Financial Sustainability Movement, and I could show you things that
Yes.
I know. The information is there. It's a matter of you taking time out, a little bit of time, every day consistently, because as they say, 10,000 hours makes you a master of something. So let's work towards getting
Right.
to those 10,000 hours. It doesn't mean it's going to take 10,000 hours till you know something, but
Right.
applying yourself to say, okay, I'm going to spend Monday through Friday, I get up at 5, from 6 to 7. I'm
Right.
going to study about finances. You will find yourself in a better situation 14 days, 30 days, 6 months, a year. It'll only get even better and better with the information.
I'm a fan of
This
that one because it's about
word.
learning. So
It's
yeah,
about,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah,
fan of that one.
absolutely.
Let's read.
And finding somebody that finding someone that you can bounce the ideas off of too,
Yeah.
be it someone that is both someone that may not be aware of it, because you obviously want to share with people that you love.
Yeah.
They might be clueless, don't get disturbed or deterred if
Yeah.
they're not latching on, but also
Yeah.
finding someone. I call them jegnas. Unfortunately, people call them mentors. Mentors to me, that's a whole other story about who he was. But you find someone that you can follow that can
Yeah.
kind of guide you through, that you can hit him up with questions, things of that nature. That's something that I do as well. I offer that because I understand where I was when I first was getting into this, and there wasn't really anybody I could speak to.
Mm-hmm.
I did continue doing my diligence, but eventually I found a tribe of folk, and we can poly about different aspects. But I think that's where it starts, is with self, and then uh, the other part of it is the implementation of what you know. So
Mm-hmm.
we get stuck with, I need to know all this stuff before I make a step.
Right.
No, as you learn, get
Yeah.
involved. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't wait until you got all of the arrows. If the stampede is coming, you got one arrow, you better shoot that joint. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's going if not, he's gonna get ran over. So the point
Right.
is don't wait until you have all this arsenal and then want to go out there and play it. Plug and play. Get
Right.
involved. Something you learn about with finances is number one thing is you want to look at your credit report if you want to understand where you are financially. Even before that, let's talk about what are my expenses. If you can do a cost analysis ratio of what do I got coming in versus what's going out, that's the very
Right.
first thing before even a credit report, because you don't need credit,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Credit is just free money, and only in America you can get that. But if you can manage your
Yeah.
expenses versus what you got coming out, or coming in rather, then that gives you an analysis on a month basis of what your expenses are. Then you can start to trim things down. What am I spending a lot of money on that I don't necessarily need to do? Do I need Hulu and Netflix and HBO or Max? Do I need all those, or
Yeah.
or can I like divvy up for my family? Like, you do the HBO, you do the whatever you can do
Right.
if you want to still have
What's
those
the
things.
solution now? Or like one of my people, they say you add to the top. Don't worry about that bottom line sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, what do I have at my fingertips that I can add to the top number
Facts. Yeah.
versus me worrying about, oh, I don't have enough for this. No, like what can I do? I got something in
Right.
my reservoir
Yeah.
that I can actually access to make me that extra, what is it, $15 a month.
Right. Exactly. And that's the
That's-
thing. And it could be something as simple as maybe you going to, for females, maybe getting your nails done every week, do them
right.
every other week. You'll cut that bill in half. Or maybe you a brother, you like to go to cigar. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna that one.
Well, okay, well,
But
maybe you go to, okay, so maybe you go to hookah lounge, or maybe you go to cigar shop, or maybe you
okay.
buy a case of whatever every week or every month. Like, if you were to, you can play around with your expenses and think
Like
about,
what's a
because
necessity
yeah,
versus
because
what's not.
food is one of the largest things we spend money on.
Right.
Like, maybe I don't have to Uber or DoorDash or go
Right.
out to eat. Maybe I cook and I could save some money there and
So,
just try it out. Like, it doesn't have to be permanent, but just
right.
say for a month, you just say, okay, I'm not going out every week to go eat. Maybe I do it every 2 weeks instead of four
Mm-hmm.
times a month, 2 times a month, and then assess how much you saved, and that savings, put it
Right.
away, and let the see that put that in something that's going to grow for you. And that's the
Yeah.
third thing, is finding out the nest eggs that you should invest in, where you
Okay.
can put those funds. It could take a couple of dollars. It could take whatever, a monthly expense of what you have left over.
Right.
But I would suggest, before you invest in these traditional money markets, that you are well vetted on the risk
Yeah.
and the low return.
Yeah.
Wall Street is not a friend of mine. 401ks and IRAs are not a friend of mine. Those things are not recession proof. Just do your diligence. And I covered all this stuff in a book I wrote called A Pot to Piss In: Intergenerational Wealth Planning for Black People. And I wrote about recessions and how, the last recession that we had in 2007 to 2010, there was roughly $2.6 trillion that was lost by people over 65 and over, and they weren't working
Mm-hmm.
anymore. They had to go
Yeah,
back
my
and get more
parents
work.
was in there. My
Yeah,
parents had lost a lot of money
I
in
lost
the stock market.
250,000,
Yeah.
and although I
Yeah.
was in my 30s, I was like, okay, I guess I got to make it up again, because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
Not realizing that's not where Warren Buffett puts his money. That's not where Jeff
Right.
Bezos and these people. That's not where they put their money. They put it in something more lucrative that gives you a greater return, something like a permanent life insurance. And if you talk about life insurance, that's a whole other conversation. But there are money methodologies that rich people use to allow their money to multiply.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Absolutely.
Have your money work for you instead of you working for it. So
I,
those would be the top three, I would say.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
What
And
about
I
some?
do like the fact that, you are teaching. So in your class, can you give us like what specifically do you get? Is there like a set curriculum? Is there special times that we could come in? Is this self-paced? How is the class ran?
So the class that I do, they're both on demand, and I also do group settings. The group setting is even better, especially if you do like with families. I love to do families
Mhm.
because, again, as we mentioned earlier, you don't want to be the only one in the family knowing what you're doing because
Yeah,
everybody else is going to be like, they're going to be sitting on the sideline watching. But if we're all building together, that motivates. And then what
yeah.
you're doing is you are actually changing the trajectory of your bloodline
Yes,
immediately. Because
yes.
then all your family's doing it, and then
Yeah,
all of y'all the next cookout is gonna be dope because y'all gonna be
yeah.
talking about the next thing y'all working on, right?
Right.
Um, so the course that I have is I do have a self-paced course. So if you're that type of person that needs to go at your own, you
Yeah.
can. I have in my sessions range, I have boot camps that are short ones, people that don't have a lot of attention span.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like 5 sessions. I have as many as 13 sessions.
Okay.
And it's dependent, it's customized on a person's schedule. So if they want to, meet on an every weekly basis or biweekly basis, that can be done. I pretty much try to cater it
To
to
where
that
our
person.
needs is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is something I'm passionate
Yeah.
about. I do this every day. So when we're talking about those 5 hour rule, I'm doing like, 50, 60, 100 hours a week dealing with finances. Because to me, it's like not only do I want to share what I know, but I need to learn more to add
More.
to what I'm sharing and then
Yeah.
implement it into my life. So this is a lifestyle for me. So yeah,
So
it's go ahead. Mhm.
mindfully melanated just said now she need her a money coach. So how do we become like how do we get you to be our money coach?
Oh, easy. Just hit me up and you got
There
me.
you go.
I mean, I will walk you step by step, hold you accountable. Even though it's virtual, I do give virtual hand
Oh,
slaps. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I'm gonna check you and make sure that you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do because there's a goal.
Yeah.
There's a goal, and depending on where you're at financially, my goal is to have you as quickly as possible get to 700 credit score,
Mhm.
if we want to use credit, but also just to really to be debt free and know what your income versus outcome
Right.
is. Have that set up within 3 to 6 months. So
Okay.
then from there, although I'm still here, no one's guaranteed tomorrow is that you'll be here. But I want to give you
Yeah.
the. I don't. It's one thing to be a coach. I don't mind being a coach, but I also want to be an ally. So meaning that, well, if I transition or something happens to me, that as they say, feed a man a fish, feed him for a day.
Mhm.
I don't want. I'm gonna teach you how to
Yeah.
fish, so
Yeah.
you can feed yourself for a lifetime. You don't have to necessarily need me.
Yeah.
You'll have the necessary tools to be able to walk your own path if you choose to. But if you want to still hang out with me, I'm with it. I'm all about building a tribe. I'm trying to get 3,000 families, y'all.
Yeah.
3,000 families
That's
to be
not
financially
hard. I think
fair.
we can do it. We need to put
I'm
it on a chart or something.
yeah.
We got to graph this out.
It's part of my affirmations, and I'm like ancestors. Let's make this happen because I really
Like
feel like
yes,
if we
sir.
had 3,000, we talk about families that are buying land together. Imagine 3,000 families and the change that we could have, not just on American shore, but I'm talking about let's get out of here and do some things
Yeah.
international on the
I
international level that we
gotta
can
link you
have
with
an
somebody who
option.
just said something. I'm gonna link you with somebody
Okay,
that's what they're doing right now.
that's what's up.
I need to
I'm
link
looking
you
for,
with
I'm
them.
looking for tribe
Right.
always, always.
So what would we do if we're parents? Because like I know the thing is building this generational wealth. That's always normally the focus, especially if you're a parent.
Mhm.
How can you start exposing or teaching your children about, money management and things of that nature? And how early do you think we should be teaching that to them?
Great question. So first off, let me just put the plug, as they say, closed mouth don't get fed. I do financial literacy for all ages, as early as 11 years old. I actually have a graduation generation boot camp, financial literacy class for youth, ages 11 to up to 25.
Okay.
I do for adults also starting at 25, or even you could be 21 on up. But it's never too early. I think 11, as early as 11, when they get a concept of what money is and learning.
Yes.
It's not about the saving component. To me, what I teach, so this is the thing about, I think what makes me different from your usual financial planner slash financial
Ooh,
influencer, yeah, is I bring in history.
okay.
So I talk about the psychological blueprint or imprint it's had on us psychologically as Black people, particularly in this country.
Mhm.
First of all, we were the first commodities. We were
Right.
first, and we're still seen as, if you really know about the law of the land,
Yeah.
we are still seen as, that's why we're still paying taxes. Our social security numbers tied to all that stuff. So that's a deeper conversation. However, there are ways to break yourself away from that.
Okay.
If we don't talk about the historical makeup of how the monetary system was created, then all you're doing is, you're putting band-aid solutions
Mm-hmm.
to a continual problem. Like I said, if I teach you how to eliminate bad debt on your credit score, that's one thing. But guess what? You're going to be there again in a couple years because you don't have the habit or the behavioral structure to say, you know what, I need to make this money work for me. I'm not going to get this right now. I'm not going to get this monetary thing, and I'm being, through agitation propaganda, being pushed to buy because they always want us to consume,
Right.
right? This consumerism is adding to the now $34 trillion deficit that America has, and they have the audacity to give us credit reports, right? Give us credit scores, and America owes 34 trillion to somebody, right? So for children, I think the most important thing is so that they don't inherit the mindset of I want to. What do I want to be when I grow up? And that gets changed as they get older because now they got to affix a monetary rate to what they want to do.
Right.
When we're kids, we don't. I want to be this because it pays this much. We just want to do this thing because we like it,
Right.
because we're interested. But
Right.
as you get older, it's like, oh, well, they don't pay on that. If you want to be an artist, they don't get
Right.
paid. So you better do
That was
something that's
my
going to pay
that was
you.
my excuse.
There
I
you
was like, I'm not about to be no starving artist.
right.
I like to shop too much. I
Exactly.
can't do it.
So if we understand, and I would say as parents, you can equip your child even as early as when they're born. This is what
Mm-hmm.
Rockefellers have done,
Mm-hmm.
is you could give them a leg up by creating permanent life insurance policies the day they're born. And say they're 11, you can still do it right now. Open up a
Yep.
policy for them. They
Yep.
turn 18, that money with compound interest is going to be well into the six figures if you put it in the right
Yep.
spot so that they have a leg up. They don't have to necessarily go to college if they don't want to. And I'm kind of in a I'm 50-50 with the college experience because networking is great,
Yeah.
but it's a
That's what
debt.
it's due for.
Yeah, it's a debt. So if you can get a scholarship, cool. But if you're going to pay out your pocket, understand that that's going to delay your ability to create wealth because
Right.
it's designed that way. Because the jobs are not guaranteed. It's like let's give you an analogy of the NBA, right? The NBA, you play college
Mm-hmm.
basketball, that means that's like a farm league to get to the league, if not even the
Mm-hmm.
G League. There's a next step, right? But
Right.
when you go to college, there's no affiliate or relationship with corporate America to say, well, if you go to my school, then we can
Mm-hmm.
get you into this
This
when you
job.
graduate.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
America is creating less than 2.2 million jobs a year, but there's over 8.5 million college and high school graduates every year
Oof.
going for those 2.2 million jobs, in addition to people that are already in the workforce that need second and third jobs or got laid off.
Yeah.
So there's not enough jobs out there. So what I'm saying is it behooves us to have our children in a space where, okay, I'm putting this insurance away for you that you can then, as you get older enough, when you turn 18, you can take out the insurance as a loan
Mm-hmm.
tax free because it's under a trust,
Right.
and you can use that to either live off of and or obviously you want to monetize it, have it
Right.
built for you, but you don't have to worry about I need to go get certified for a job that's not even going to be there when I graduate.
Right. Right. It's
So
like how
that's why
you're
I think,
leveraging it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so speaking to kids in that respect, let them be a child, let them have their fun, but also eliminate the blunt of the blow of adulthood
Right.
by giving them these innuendos about, okay, we're going to learn about finances now because when you're 18, you're going to already know what to do.
Or
You don't
even
have to be
setting
18 like,
them up,
oh,
like you said, like even beyond that, setting them up like the way that my kids' trust is set up
yeah,
is basically like, okay, when you turn this certain age, you get allotted a certain amount of money
go.
for opening a business,
Yep,
for doing some sort of investment,
yep,
flipping some property, like
yep.
something that is going to help generate wealth for you. So like I think it's important for us as soon as, we can and we're able that we're making it a responsibility to be like, I don't like for me, I tell my kids all the time, like, even though I got two of them that work for me, but
Hmm.
I be like, no, what do you want to do?
Right.
Let's put you in what you want to
Yes,
do. I don't want you to spend your youth you know, just doing something just because you're trying to get a check.
that's
Do
right.
it because this is what you love and it lights you up. Like I
Absolutely.
don't want them to live the life that, you getting up and we puffing and
Grinding,
face all screwed
grinding.
up
Yeah, yeah,
in the
exactly.
morning because we
Tight.
don't want to go to
That's
work.
right. And I think that's the piece too, is letting kids understand that it's important as parents. We need to travel, not just to have a good time, but to go to other places in the world so they can see, okay, actually, you ever thought about you can invest in here? You could buy some land. And I would say land is the biggest thing you want to look into purchasing, especially internationally, because it's much cheaper. So if you can buy land, then that could be a rental property. You could be living here in the States, but you got something going on internationally that's coming to you on a residual basis. So go ahead and be that artist, whether you're successful or not. Do what you have a passion for, but you still have an income coming in on a residual basis because you invested wisely. These are things that we could tell our youth and mirror in our own habits as well.
I love it. I love it. Anything else you would like to share with us that I might not have asked? And then if y'all have any questions, y'all can ask them in the comments. I know I done took over
No, no,
all
I
the
welcome
questions.
I welcome the questions, and my passion. So is one thing I want to talk about too is one of the things that the psychological component of financial therapy to me is trying to eliminate fear. And I told you I love to play with acronyms, right? So fear to me, the initial fear of not having enough money, it also is a penalty. And to me, fear is broken down to funds exhausted, awards restrictions.
Ooh,
So if you don't have the money, you're a window shopper. A lot of us are professional window shoppers. Oh man, somebody say, "Yo, this thing is going on." Oh man, let me know when it happens again. I got you next time. Or we see this one thing we want, and we go and walk by it every day, just looking at it out. One day I'm gonna get you. One day I'm gonna get you. Right. But my goal with what I share, what I teach, is to reverse that mentality of fear and implement it, to change it to be finances explained aids resilience. So if you understand how finances work, then there will be no fear. You'll be able to walk through life knowing that, okay, I have a plan and this plan is going to turn out the way I want it to be in my favor. But it comes with diligence. It comes with commitment, understanding that you're going to be working, you're going to be dealing with money your entire life. Even if you're 18, just hearing this, your entire adulthood will be about money. So the interesting thing about well, that's the thing. Depends on the angle you look at it, because we have properly introduced, right?
that's
So
true.
of the
That's
one thing
true.
that we work so hard for, we know the least about.
That part. That part.
We know the least about it. As they say, Wu-Tang, cash rules everything
That's
around me.
right.
Like,
Cash.
but
Cream.
it don't have to be that way. Like, we can learn to make cash rule for us, make it work in my favor. But we need to have these conversations instead of having get-togethers and just talking about the game last night. Let's have a get-together and take 10 minutes of that before the game. Look, let's talk about finance for a minute. Let's talk about this investment
Let's talk
opportunity, or let's talk about
about
what
how
I could
your
do.
money, like your
Yeah,
money wellness looks
yeah.
like. What's your money
And
wellness?
and those initial conversations will probably be a little tight. It might turn
Yeah.
into a fight because cousin Ray
Uncomfortable.
still owe you $20. He ain't paid you back yet. But if you are consistent with it and you understand the notion, and this is why I tell folks, this is why I wrote that book, Apocalypse and Intergenerational Wealth Planning for Black people. I want every Black person to read this book, not because I want it to be sold, because it's the conversation of, let's talk about the symptoms. This is a systemic dynamic that we're experiencing. What you're experiencing with your finances is not authentic. We're all going through the same thing. We just ain't talking to each other about
That
it.
part.
But once we start to do it, we'll realize, wait a minute, you're going through the same shit. Okay, so what can I do? What are you doing? And then we start piling about solutions.
Yeah.
That's how you break out of it. That's the communal component that's missing.
Yeah.
So that's my hope, is that, folks want to, if you really want to change your situation, it's going to take some sweat equity on your end. No one's going to do it for you. And it isn't hard to do. Learning is not hard to do.
No.
The challenging part is the implementation of what you learn. That's the challenging part.
Yeah.
Will you implement what you learn?
And this to me, and I mean, I'm naturally trial and measure. I already have that embedded in me. So it don't take nothing for me to jump in the water.
No.
But like, it does have to be that type of mindset. Like, I always tell people, to me, this is like a game. So you just have to understand it like that.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as you're failing.
Right.
It's
You're right.
only that you're
Yep.
learning. So what did I learn from this experience, and how do I apply
Yep.
what I learned to the
Yep.
next experience? Because that don't mean you stop. That don't mean you quit. That just mean like, okay, let me gather my information and
Mm,
then reapply.
mm,
So we can go ahead and keep moving forward. Because it's the ones that's taking the risk. It's the ones that's willing to jump in the water
yep.
that reap the benefits.
Absolutely.
You saying scary and being on the sidelines, you ain't gonna have no fun. Like
Mm-mm.
part
You're
of
going to be
gonna
a
be jumping.
spectator. You're going to be a spectator. And the interesting thing about it being a spectator is you're in a game that you don't even know you're playing.
That part.
You could be like, I'm on the sideline. No, you're still in the game. You
You
just don't
still
realize you're
playing.
getting scored on. And so the point is,
Right.
do you want to get at least one first down? Like, do you want to get like
Right.
one little victory, or do you want to sit there and complain? And then it gets to a point where you're at an age where, you know, it's been sapped out of you. The will
Yeah.
to do has been sapped out of you. And again,
Get burnout.
it's
Yeah.
a systemic design. I
Yeah.
speak about this all the time so that people understand, remove the personal.
Hmm.
It's not a personal attack on you. It's a systemic
Yeah.
design that 99.9% of people fall into.
Yeah.
So let's be one of those 1% that can break out of it. And it's the
That part.
information. Yeah.
Um, my psycho had a question. She said, "What type of insurance policies were you speaking on and investing in?"
Okay. Permanent life insurance. Some people call them whole life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And whole life insurance is basically, so your term tells you right there that we're going to insure you for a specific amount of time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The interesting thing about term is, although the premiums are smaller, um, you most, so look at it like this. All of us have cars. Those that have cars, you pay car insurance. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Pay car insurance. You go through years without any car issues. You don't have any crashes. You don't have any issues. Does the car insurance company send you a check back for that free money you've been giving them every month? No. They pocket that money every month. Sometimes it makes you want to go and wreck your car because you're paying so much money in car insurance, right? I might as
Give
well
me
get
a
my
new
money back.
car.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what term life is that you're going to pay for something that, and they put you through, you know, a health test to make sure you're healthy, because they're not going to sign you up if
Mm-hmm.
you're about to die, because they got to pay out.
No, it
Insurance
don't.
companies don't want to
They,
pay.
they
That's the
don't.
game. We're thinking, oh, when something happens, they'll pay. That's if you live, if you're within the window of that insurance policy. So if you have a 15 or 10-year policy, once you elapse the 10th year, they pocket all that money. They've been pocketing all along. You get nothing. So what do you got to do? Get another insurance policy. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of our insurance policies are through our jobs. Well, we don't understand that once the job is, if you're eliminated from the job, so is the insurance gone. So all that money you put in there is gone. You're not insured. Permanent life is different because permanent life has it insures you for at least anywhere from 99 to 101 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's lifelong. It can be transferred to your bloodline, and it
Mm-hmm.
also has a dividend payout anywhere between 4.25 to 11% on your return. That's double, even sometimes triple what you'll get in a savings account. We're putting money in the savings account. Some of us have tens of thousands of dollars in the savings account and wondering why I'm only getting $100 a year annually on the
And
return,
be
right? Put it
excited
somewhere
about that
else.
$100. I know
Yeah,
what you
right?
talking about.
Right? The bank is all too more happy about it because
Yes.
the more
So
money you
much.
put into it, they make money off of that, and they loan your money out, make returns from the loan to give you zero in return. That's
Exactly.
called the fractional lending system. So the point of with insurance, though, however, is with permanent life insurance, you then create, as it appreciates over time with compound interest, that you can then either let it continue to grow, or if you have an issue or an emergency, or you want to go and spurge on something, you could take it out as a loan from that amount. It is not taxable. So if you
Right.
have a 401k and you want to pull out money out of your 401k, you get taxed on it. How do you get taxed? It gets added to your income. So you could be put into a whole other tax bracket if you pull out enough. With whole life insurance, there's no taxes. So I'm only paying a loan back to myself. And also, depending on the company you're with, provided how they perform for the year and people dying is never going out of business,
Okay.
that they share the profits with all the policyholders.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most companies shares profit with shareholders, when you buy a share or a bond. With whole life insurance, you are a policyholder. So however well the company performs, you get a dividend payout on an annual basis on the annual contract of your policy. So you're making money there as well. So,
Yeah.
and that can go anywhere between that dividend payout on an annual, depending on the company, is again anywhere between 4.25% to 7.5%. And you're already getting a 4% guaranteed on the policy itself. So again, that gets you up to 11% possibly on your return. Can't find that anywhere else. Okay.
Right.
So permanent life is definitely a place to go. If you ever want more information, I teach about that extensively in my course. And that puts you on a path. In addition to, let me just say this part, what the Rockefellers did. This is how the Rockefellers created Chase Manhattan Bank, is for every child that was born, they opened up a whole life insurance policy.
Right.
And not only just one, they opened up multiple policies. So they're paying a monthly dividend in there at the child is 1 year old when they turn 18, and they've been making monthly payments for over 18 years. With the appreciated value of the compound interest, by 18, they're a multimillionaire, right? And that's just one policy.
Think about people like me who got all these damn kids. How much money would have been?
Exactly. Exactly.
They're gonna be good, but good
And so
God.
there's the stat
Sheesh.
that African Americans are the most insured, but we have the wrong insurance.
Exactly.
We have term, and we have it through our jobs. And what happens is most jobs will eliminate you before their kick in of their match has to kick in. They'll let you go. And most people don't understand. All those years I've been putting money to be covered. Now I'm not covered at all. Something happens, my family get nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the conversation again. We're financially illiterate.
Yeah.
We're not introduced to these concepts. I remember when I was
All the
working for
different
someone,
ways.
I remember having those 401k meetings, and it was all over above my head. I don't know what y'all talking about. Just tell me where to sign.
Right.
Just take out something out of my check, and I guess it'll be there when I need it. But when the recession happened, I lost $250,000. I was like, okay, y'all gonna put that back? And it's like, no. Did you read the fine print? It's a gamble, and the house always wins. So we have to understand that there's other places that you need to put your money. Study those that are, and they're not flamboyant about it. Don't listen to the Dave Ramseys and the Susie Ormans, because they're going to tell you, don't put it in a permanent. They're going to tell you to put it in term. And again, term benefits the insurance company, not themselves, and that's who pays their checks. So it's information's out there.
Last question. It says, would you advise someone with massive amount of credit card debt to do a debt consolidation?
If you can discontinue using the credit cards, absolutely. Mainly because the interest rate is going to, be hitting you, right? That amount, the more you use the credit card, the more interest is going to be on there every month, and that's going to eat away from your income, right? Because you miss a payment, then it's going to be double payment. Or you do a half a payment, it's going to be added on plus the interest. So debt consolidation is a way to do it. It allows you to, instead of paying if it's several cards, you're paying one person at a fraction of the amount. It's still a debt though. So that company's not trying to help you. That company's trying to just get you to pay them instead of they robbing Paul to pay Peter, right? So I'd rather you pay me. So that's all they're trying to give you a little sweeter deal. But you got to look at the fine print terms of that agreement, because that agreement could be 5, 10, 20 years or whatever that agreement is, even though you're paying a little bit. The other thing, though, I'm going to give you some game on is you got to look into the building of trust, because if you do the trust correctly, you can have your credit card debt eliminated. So you don't have to ask, and even student loans. You can stop paying even the consolidated debt, because, again, they have their fiction. There's going to be a term of payments that they're receiving. And this is where you got to look at it like this. If you approach every perspective, and you might be getting a barrage of calls of people that want to say, we can help you with your debt, right? They're greedy. They're trying to get you. I'll have you pay me less, but you'll be paying me longer. Okay?
Right.
Have you pay me less, but you'll be paying me longer, and you're thinking you're giving me relief, right? You're thinking you're giving me relief. So I'm not going to say advising to file Chapter 11 and whatnot, but if you look into trust, that is a way that you can eliminate all that debt, because technically everything is already paid for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
On that.
That's the Zoom classes, and that's the private classes. You don't get this on this.
Right.
On Beyonce's
Gotta have a little
internet.
bit. I got a little bit of discretion on that. Yeah, you just can't be putting anything out there. Yeah.
I love it. So, where can they find you again?
You can find me, IG right now. You can just click Mboebe Ishangi. You can go to Crypto Woke Movement at movement.com. And no, it's not cryptocurrency. Actually, crypto, the etymology of the word crypto, it means cryptic, which is hidden. So we're
Mm,
talking about hidden money methodologies that have been practiced by elite white families that have done pillow talk over the years. So the information's been leaked out. So
yeah.
now we have this information that we can apply to our black print to create the trajectory of eliminating depravity, monetary depravity, and also putting us in a position to create intergenerational bloodline wealth simply through these simple tactics. It really ain't rocket science at all. It's
Yeah.
just about knowing what to do with X's and
Plus,
O's. So you can find
he's
it there.
one of our coaches too. Let me just throw that in there at the Healing Chamber. So when y'all come through and we do your treatment plan and we're like, oh, they put money issues on there, we sending y'all to him.
Word,
Like that's our go-to.
word.
So
That's
y'all
awesome.
gotta like, make sure that you are doing your due diligence to implement these dynamics. Yes, go follow him. Go follow him. I have tagged him in one of the other posts. I will tag him when we post this video this evening. So y'all can make sure that you get in the class, man. Like get your knowledge up. I think this is one of the things me and you have talked about this many
Yeah.
times. It's just like this is one of the things that I think hurt our community the most.
Yes.
Is not having the literacy behind, and everybody want $1 million, but you don't know what to do with it,
Right. That part.
and you don't
That part.
realize that just getting $1 million, that's just the start.
Hmm. That's the beginning of the problem if you don't know what you're doing.
Right, that's the beginning of the end. No, I'm just playing. But it's like, that's the beginning of all of this. So
Yeah.
you really want to be well versed and well knowledged. And what are our options? Because we have so many that our parents didn't know about. We
Absolutely.
have like when you talked about the crash, I remember my parents was doing all of that. Boy, when
Mm.
that crash hit, they were like, I ain't doing this no more. My daddy
Yep.
still be like, anytime I talk about mine, he be like, nah, I'm good.
Tight. Yeah. And they tell you
I was
now,
like, you
oh,
got trauma.
yeah, the economy's robust. You could put no, it ain't. No, it
No,
ain't. If you do
no.
the history, there's been more than the one recession, and they talk about this one in the Great Depression in the 1930s. There's been over
Yeah,
100, and they
yeah,
never
yeah. I know.
talk about them. They
Yeah,
never
and
talk.
I'm like, no, we have to be prepared, and you have to
Yeah,
pay attention. Like, and
absolutely.
I always look at things happen, you know, around the same time when there's certain things
Mm-hmm.
happening in society. Those are
Mm-hmm.
the times that you need to be watching your
One
money.
hundred
So
percent.
have other options. I can't wait to do this again. We're gonna have to
Absolutely.
make this a regular. I
I'm
don't
with
know
it.
when we're gonna be able to do it, but we're gonna have to make it at least once a
Say
month.
when. Say
Um,
when. I'm with it.
okay.
I would
Yeah.
love to have this
It's
conversation, and let me
recorded
just give
now. Just saying.
let, let me give you let me give you a shout out too, because I
Okay.
appreciate all the work you do. I mean, I don't know if people give you flowers that you need, but I'm gonna give you a
Oh,
virtual bouquet of the work that you do. I
thank
see
you.
what you're doing. I love the connection that we have,
Yeah.
and I just look forward to continue work and just keep being that shining sister that you are.
Oh,
I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And hopefully when I get back from Texas, I'm going to Texas, but when I get back, I'm gonna
yeah.
hit you up so we can
That's
connect.
what's up. No
All
doubt.
right.
No doubt. All right,
Thank
bless up.
you.
Bless up. All right.
There we go. So y'all ain't gonna say that I ain't never did nothing for y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm always throwing somebody who is a gem in the community and that really, have our best interests at heart. That's all I surround myself with is people who are, endeared to our community specifically. So hopefully you got what you needed to get. You got some gems. Hopefully you followed him. He is a brother that is doing major, major work in the community. He's always at a community center. He's always working with children. He's always like really striving to, get us, up to par and up to speed when it comes to financial literacy. So willfully, you got what you were supposed to get. Don't miss Friday. If you have not already been on Success for Astrology Forever, Success Forever Astrology, it's one of them. If you ain't been on him, the page, he was hilarious. So I already know with the two of us together, I don't know what this is going to create on Friday, but just be prepared. But we're going to talk about the full moon. We're going to talk about astrology in general. I'm going to let him, tell you how amazing he is. And yeah, so hopefully y'all stay with y'all notebooks. I told y'all I'm bring every time, every week We coming with some new people that I feel can change your life. All right. All right. Love you. Peace.